Hello, viewers. Welcome back to another engaging episode of Manager's Mantra, where we connect with industry leaders who are shaping the future of business management. Today, we have with us Arindam Ghosh, South Asia Head, India Institute of Management Accountants. He leads the expansion and strategic positioning of IMA. Arindam has over 24 years of experience in leadership roles across diverse sectors, including advertising, education management, edtech, interactive digital learning, and global professional finance certification. So, without waiting further, let's jump right into this insightful discussion.
Hi Arindam, a very good afternoon and welcome to this new session of Manager's Mantra. We are really glad to have you with us today and we are sure that this will be a great interaction ahead.
Hi, Abhishek. Good afternoon to you. I'm absolutely privileged to be a part of this discussion. You have been doing wonderful sessions. I've been following you throughout with the entire fraternity of corporates. And I'm really pleased to be a part of your calls this day.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure and thanks for your good words. So, Arindam, let us start discussing the questions. Uh, you know,
Sure.
as we all know, how important is artificial intelligence today, and probably any discussions, around any sectors will involve artificial intelligence. So let us start with artificial intelligence questions first. With AI automating the routine finance and accounting tasks, do you think a conventional degree still is enough to build a career, and which entry level finance and accounting roles are likely to be most affected by automation? Will AI reduce opportunities or will it create new roles in areas like financial analytics, risk strategy?
Okay, I really love the question, Abhishek. I think you've made very pertinent three questions compacted in one full question. So I'll try to address it in the best of my abilities. So my response will be, I don't think a conventional commerce degree has become irrelevant today. In fact, it remains the starting point. It gives students the fundamental of accounting, finance, taxation, and business. Without that foundation, it is absolutely difficult to interpret financial information or make sound business decisions. However, what has changed is the expectation from employers. Earlier, graduates could spend years doing routine accounting and reporting before moving into analytical roles. But today, AI is already handling many of these repetitive tasks, whether it is, for example, something like reconciliations, invoice processing, or generating standard reports. So many companies are looking for professionals who can add value beyond processing transactions. And that is why a commerce degree today needs to be complemented with digital skills, data analytics, and an understanding of AI tools, and equally important, communication and critical thinking. Finance professionals, let's say, of the future won't be competing with AI, rather, they'll be working alongside. So the real value lies in asking the right questions, validating AI generated insights, understanding the business context, and helping organizations make better decisions. So, my advice to students is quite simple: treat your commerce degree as a foundation, not the finishing line. Keep learning, embrace technology. Those are the life skills that will differentiate finance professionals in this AI era. So this is, if I have to talk about what is my suggestion. Now, if I have to talk about how with AI automation, how exactly entry level finance roles, accounting roles are getting affected by automation, is probably, if I have to talk about it, what I would say is that it's not so much that the roles are disappearing. What is actually changing is the nature of the work within the roles that is purely changing. The biggest impact will be on entry level tasks that are repetitive, rule based, and process driven. So, activities such as mundane works like data entry, invoice processing, bank reconciliations, expense verifications, transaction matching, and routine bookkeeping activities can now be completed much faster using AI and automation. However, this does not mean that there is no opportunities for fresh graduates. What it only means is that businesses will now always need finance professionals but they will be expected them to contribute differently from day one. Instead of spending hours preparing reports, they will be expected to analyze those reports, identify anomalies, assess risk, provide insights, and support business decisions. So the entry level finance professions of the future are needing to be much more analytical, more comfortable with technology integration, better at problem solving. So AI can process transactions, but it still needs human oversight and intervention to validate those outputs, understand the business context, and ensure compliance and exercise professional judgment. Those human capabilities becomes the real differentiator in today's finance careers. And this is the second question which you would have asked. If I have to say the third part of the question, which you said that will AI reduce entry level opportunities or will it create new roles? So it's the same continuation, which says that as I see AI as a force that is transforming entry level roles rather than eliminating it. Yes, the routine task will of data entry, reconciliation, transaction processing will be increasingly automated, which means organization may need fewer people for purely transactional work. At the same time, what is important is that AI is creating demand for capabilities. As business generate more data and adopt intelligent technologies, they are looking for professionals who can interpret insights, manage risk, strengthen internal controls, detect fraud, support financial planning, and partner with the business on strategic decisions. So, this is a significant opportunity for young professionals. They are likely to be exposed to analytical and decision support roles much earlier in their career than previous generations. The key is to stop thinking of AI as a competitor and start viewing it as a productivity tool and a friend. So, those who understand finance, know how to work with AI, and can apply sound financial judgment will be well positioned to thrive in the future workplace. So, this is the way I would like to respond to your first query.
Thank you so much, Arindam. That was really very insightful. My second question to you, how important are management accounting, data analytics, and business decision making skills for future finance professionals? And what additional skills should students develop to remain relevant in this AI led workplace?
I think they're absolutely critical. Again, a wonderful and a question which is thoroughly critical. The role of finance have evolved significantly over the last decade, and more so with the AI integrations. Today, organizations expect finance team to do much more than prepare financial statement or ensure compliance. They expect them to provide insights that help the business make better decisions. So management accounting actually helps organization understand what's driving the business performance. While data analytics enable finance professionals to identify trends, forecast outcomes, and evaluate different scenarios, but data alone does not create value. The real value comes from interpreting that information, applying commercial judgment and financial judgment, and recommending the best course of action. So that is why the finance professionals of the future will be a business partner rather than just a number expert. AI can process vast amounts of data, but people are still needed to ask the right questions, challenge assumptions, understand risk, and translate financial insights into strategic decisions. Those who can combine accounting expertise with analytical thinking and business acumen will be the ones who lead the profession in the years ahead. With respect to what the future finance really needs to combine in their domain knowledge, I think it is definitely the digital skills. A strong understanding of accounting and finance will be very important, but students will also need to become comfortable working with data and so much also with technology. They should build proficiency in tools such as Excel, Power BI, multiple ERP platforms, and develop a basic understanding of how AI works, its capabilities and its limitations. It's equally important to understand that AI can generate outputs, but it cannot replace human judgment or business context. Beyond technical skills, communication, critical thinking, problem solving are becoming even more valuable day by day. Finance professionals are increasingly expected to explain complex financial information to business leaders, collaborate across business functions, and support strategic decisions. So, my advice to students in a nutshell is to say stay curious, embrace continuous learning, view AI as a tool that can enhance your capabilities rather than something to fear of, and be good at financial storytelling.
Thank you so much, Arindam. As you know, a lot of management students will be watching this interaction, and they will be very important for them to know what exactly the employers are looking for. Do you think employers are now looking beyond academic qualifications when hiring? And how can professional certifications complement a degree?
Absolutely. A very good relevant question. And this is answer is without any doubt. A degree today, we have to treat it as an entry ticket, not a differentiator. Days are gone where it used to be treated as a differentiator. Employers assume that every graduate of a commerce or a management stream has already studied the basics of accounting, finance, and business fundamentals. What they're really trying to access is whether the candidate can apply that knowledge in a business environment. Increasingly, organizations are hiring for potentials as much as for qualifications. So they want graduates who are comfortable with technology, can analyze data, solve problems, communicate confidently, and adapt to changes. AI can answer technical questions, but it cannot replace curiosity, it cannot replace judgment or the ability to work with people. And that is why internships, live projects, case competitions, professional certifications have become so much valuable. They demonstrate initiatives and practical application. In an interview, let's say a candidate can explain how they solved a real business problem will almost always stand out over someone who simply lists academic achievements. So while academic excellence still matters, that's the rudimentary, the first level. Employers are, however, increasingly looking for professionals who can learn continuously, think commercially, and create value from day one. And your question with respect to how a professional qualification can add value, I see them as two sides of the same coin. Let's say a BCom or a MCom or a BBA or a MBA builds at the theoretical foundation. It teaches you the principles of accounting, finance, taxation, business, everything. However, professional certification builds on that foundation by showing how those concepts are actually applied in real business situations. The expectations from finance professionals have changed significantly over the years. Today, organizations want people who can analyze business performance, support strategic decisions, manage risk, and work confidently with technology. So, professional certifications are closely aligned with all those revolving industry requirements, making graduates much more job ready. They also reflect a commitment to continuous learning, which has become increasingly important in a professional's shape up by the rapid advances of technology, changing regulations, and evolving business models. Employers, FUC, value candidates who invest in building new skills and keep their knowledge current. So the strongest career outcome when an academic education, professional certification, and practical experience can come together and work in alliance. This combination equips graduates with technical expertise, commercial understanding, and the confidence to create the value from the very beginning of their careers, and that is going to be a killer combination and a differentiator.
Thank you, Arindam. Arindam, what role do you think will communication, ethical judgment, and business understanding play as technical tasks become more automated today?
Uh, I can't really thank you enough for all the detailed and varied questions. Again, a very, very critical but variety of a question. So, as we all know, as AI takes over more routine and technical tasks, the skills that will be truly differentiating a finance professionals are the ones that technology cannot easily replicate. And one of that very, very important key element is communication. Ethical judgment and business understanding will become more and more valuable as we go by. Finance today is much more about rather than only producing numbers. It is about explaining what those numbers mean. So it is basically the story behind the data, helping the business leaders make informed business decisions, communicating complex financial information in a way that different stakeholders from different societies levels altogether, knowledge base can understand in a lucid manner that requires clarity, confidence, and the ability to influence decisions. Ethics is equally and extremely critical. AI can process data and generate recommendations, but it cannot be held accountable for those decisions. Ultimately, it's just a technology. Finance professionals must ensure that information is accurate, regulations are followed, and technology is used responsibly. The word is again responsibly. They need to question the AI generated outputs, identify potential biases, and exercise professional judgments before any decision is. At the end of the day, finance is built on trust. Organizations will continue to value professionals who combine technical expertise with integrity, sound judgment, and a deep understanding of business.
Thank you, Arindam. Arindam, as we all are aware that this management's colleges, the B schools, are how they are grooming, how they are nurturing and shaping the different young leaders of tomorrow. So they have a huge role to play. Now, how can those colleges make finance education more aligned with the current industry requirements?
Very relevant because that's the beauty of an academia and an industry interaction, and then the bridge is something like a kind of a certification which is professional like us. So, if I have to answer this, so let's say the first step is to bridge the gap between classroom learning and workplace expectations. Strong fundamentals in accounting, finance, taxations will always remain essential, but students also need greater exposure to how these concepts are actually applied in real business environments on a day to day basis. I assume they are already doing, but they would need to, the colleges and the universities would more need to, or schools would more need to integrate more of case studies, business simulations, live projects, internship, industry led assignments into the curriculum. Learning from actual annual reports, analysis, analyzing business challenges, and working with real sets of data helps students develop analytical and decision making skills that employers are actually looking for. Another important aspect, is encouraging students to pursue professional certifications alongside with their normal degrees. The certifications in areas such as management accounting, financial analysis, data analytics, or emerging technologies provide specialized knowledge that complements classroom learning and helps students stay aligned with evolving industry requirements. As I was saying, they should also demonstrate a commitment to continuous learning, which employers are increasingly valuing. Equally important is a stronger collaboration between academia, industry, and professional bodies like us, IMA. Regular interactions with experts, faculty development programs, curriculum reviews can ensure what it taught keeps pace with evolving business needs and technological advancements. Finally, assessment methods also needs to evolve. Success should not be only measured by a student's ability to just reproduce knowledge in an examination. Students should also be evaluated on their ability to analyze informations, solve business problems, communicate their recommendations, and work effectively with emerging technologies. That combination of academic knowledge, professional certification, and practical exposure will actually prepare graduates to succeed in this rapidly changing finance profession.
Thank you so much, Arindam. So, Arindam, with the increased adoption of AI, we cannot deny the fact that the students will use AI. But then they also have to balance that with their own personal judgment, their ability to make judgments. Now, how should students use the AI tools while ensuring that their accounting fundamentals and professional judgment remain strong?
Absolutely. So I would say that AI should be used as a learning aid, not just a shortcut. It can help students understand concepts, summarize informations, generate practice questions, or even explain accounting standards in simpler terms. But learning only happens when students question the output and understand the reasoning behind it. Accounting is built on principles, ethics, and professional judgments. If students rely entirely on AI without understanding the underlying concepts, they will struggle when faced with real business situations that require interpretations and decision making. So I would encourage students to use AI to enhance their learning, but always verify the information with accounting standards, textbooks, and credible sources. They should ask themselves, does this answer make sense? They should not blindly copy paste. For example, they can ask, can I explain it on my own words? Would I be confident defending this conclusion in front of a manager or a client when I'm working with an organization? Those questions actually build professional judgment and the confidence required for it. So once more, point that is increasingly becoming important is responsible AI use. Students should be mindful of the confidentiality and avoid sharing sensitive financial or client information on public AI transformation platforms. Technology will continue to evolve every day, but integrity, ethical conduct, and sound judgment will always remain the hallmark of a successful finance profession.
Thank you so much, Arindam. We know that the different roles are evolving. The kind of opportunities that was there previously, that is also evolving. Now, what emerging career paths should finance students explore beyond traditional accounting and auditing roles?
Okay. So I would say that today's commerce and finance graduates and students have far more career options, thankfully, that they did a decade ago. So it's a positive scenario, not a negative scenario. So while accounting and auditing remain strong career path, which is a traditional career path, the profession has really significantly expanded with the growth of technology, global businesses, and data-driven decision makings. So today's student who are from the finance and commerce background can explore roles in financial planning and analysis, which is called FP&A, management accounting, business finance, risk management, forensic accounting, internal audit, treasury, investor relations, sustainability reporting, ESGs, financial analysis, and fintech. There are also exciting opportunities in India from the Global Capability Centers, the GCCs, where finance professionals support global operations in areas such as business planning, financial transformation, reporting, and strategic decision making. What's important is not choosing a specialization too early, because that's a mistake many of you would do. What you need to understand is where your interest and strength lies. Internship, industry projects, professional certifications can help students explore different career paths before they finally make the decision of doing a specialization. The common thread across all the roles is the ability to interpret financial information, understand the business, and use technology to create value. Those capabilities will always remain relevant regardless of how the profession continues to evolve.
Thank you so much, Arindam. Before we close the session, let us also address the last question of the session. It's really important to dream big, but then it's equally important to groom yourself, to nurture yourself, and to shape yourself to get those kind of skills to grab your dream jobs. Now, what practical steps should a finance student take today to become job ready for the next 5 years?
Very important question, but 5 years is a long term, and in terms of the rapidness of changes that's happening around in the industry, it's on the borderline risky, recommendation that I will make. But I will make my best effort to say, with the kind of trained analysis that we keep on doing as a professional certification body. So I would focus on building a strong foundation while continuously adding new skills. First and foremost, develop a solid understanding of accounting, finance, business fundamentals, because technology is only as effective as the person who's using it. It's basically a tool. So, next, becomes comfortable with all sorts of digital tools. Build advanced Excel skills, learn platforms like Power BI, develop basic understanding of AI and data analytics, and the kind of models that is going around in the market. These are becoming essential skills across the finance professions. Equally important is gaining practical exposure. Internships, live projects, case competitions, analyzing annual business reports help students connect with classroom learning with the real business challenges. I would also encourage students to pursue a recognized professional certification that aligns with their career aspiration, as it demonstrates specialized knowledge and a commitment to continuous learning and growth. Finally, don't overlook communication and business awareness. Read about industries, follow marketing trends, follow the trends which are doing best in the current scenario. Present your ideas confidently. Learn to explain financial insights in simple terms. Jargons are good, but if you are able to explain things in simpler manner, that's the best. That's the golden rule. The finance professionals who will succeed over the next 5 years won't just be technically strong. They will be adept commercially and financially aware and comfortable working alongside AI to solve business problems. So don't be afraid of AI. Make AI your best friend, but use AI ethically and responsibly.
Thank you so much, Arindam. It was great having you with us today. And with that, we come to the end of the conversation. We are really glad to have you, and we are really hopeful to stay connected with you and have you again in any of the future sessions of Be Smart Business Standard.
Thank you, Abhishek. It has been lovely exploring the facades of questions that you have given us. And it's really nice that we could catch up. It's been a privilege. Looking forward to be in touch with you.
Sure, sure. Our pleasure.
So that's a wrap on this episode of Manager's Mantra. Thank you, Arindam, for sharing your thoughts and providing career tips to the students. BSmart viewers, we hope you found this conversation helpful. Share your thoughts with us at bsmart.edit@bsml.in. Follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram for more such insightful and inspiring content. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.